Okay. It's Sunday. Lots of shit has been happening. I'm hoping there's not another live open, because I had opened it, but then they made me open up a brand new one. So I opened this one. Hopefully people will find it. And it's not even supposed to go on for a couple minutes. This one that I'm going to focus on is Gabe Hoffman was the one. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Smokey. Gabe Hoffman is the one who got everything down of Issac Kappy's. They wiped him on social media, went out of his way, and went out of their way to just wipe him. And Gabe Hoffman was instrumental in that right before Issac Kappy died. And so I'm not inferring anything. I'm just pointing out the facts of the matter. The fact that Gabe Hoffman has gone out of his way to trash me for 7+ years. And thank you. Let's show everybody. This is my shirt. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorites. So, oh, hold on. Come on. Oh, you want to go out? Okay. Go out. Sorry. Duty calls. Hey, Katie. So, Gabe Hoffman is the one who got everything down of Issac Kappy. He's trying to do the same thing to me. And they're all laughing, saying that he's going to do it. It's just one big game. I will say that on X, Thomas kept bringing up this something that's connected to this total disclosure thing, and saying that I am involved and they're brainwashing me. I'm a mouthpiece for this total disclosure person. I don't know really anything about the total disclosure people, other than they started talking about my shit, and then I went and looked at their stuff on X, and they seemed okay, you know? And so I've sent them my shit, because they're way more into the whole investigative thing than I am. And now now there's this big game to try and connect me to this person, like we have some sort of relationship. And that is not how it works. I don't really know anything about total disclosure. I'm not saying if they're good. I'm not saying if they're bad. I'm saying that it's weird that Thomas Schoenberger wants to link me with this person. And hey, Susan, and this person did start talk. I did know nothing about them. They sought me out, not the other way around. And this group is good at sending in plans, then trying to connect you so that you're involved with people. That's the reason why I don't get involved with any of them. You know? Sending my shit to total disclosure is no different than me sending it to all of the people who investigate and law enforcement and all the people I send my shit to. You know? I just basically send it to whoever I can, and hope that someone eventually figures out enough. You know, they can't all be bad. That's how I look at it. But a lot of them are. And I'm not connected to this total disclosure person. You know, don't know anything about them really. They're just, what they say is that they're trying to expose child trafficking? Who is against those people who are saying that they're trying to expose child trafficking? But then that brings me to you, Gabe. Do you know that I've never once seen a picture of you? Never once. I had the image that I had of you was so different than what I saw. Someone showing that bathroom thing. Funny enough, I'm not the only one who does videos in the bathroom, I guess. But it was a video that you posted laughing about a kid's trauma of being sexually abused as a child. And that was the whole thing. You can just go to my blog, you can read all the shit. You can see the blog thing for yourself. But I'd never laid eyes on you. I thought that you would be like this charismatic, kind of refined, person. But the video that I saw with you in the bathroom without your shirt, fuck, you are just straight thug motherfucker, huh? That's what you are. You're just fucking straight up thug motherfucker. Anybody who looks at you, at least that's my opinion. When I looked at you, you look like a thug, And you've been talking shit about me for 7.5 years, and now that I am actually addressing you and finally calling you out, if you want to call me crazy, fine. But let's just lay it all out so that everyone knows why you have come to the conclusion that I am crazy. And everyone should just listen to you. That's your group. Fuck. I keep going up the ladder. First it was little Doug and his little satanic temple, and fuck, I had to deal with that for a decade. But then I started talking about Issac after you murdered Issac and then tried to kill me 11 months later. And so I started talking about Issac, and then all of a sudden I got Thomas Schoenberger and that whole group, the Sewer Town. So I was one step up further. And now you, Gabe, and you seem to be a lot of people's bosses, But you're straight out fucking thug. You're just straight out. I was shocked when I saw that video on X. I was shocked, You were not what I was expecting. You took shit down from Issac Kappy, and you took out Issac Kappy. But your group will find that I'm different than anyone you've ever dealt with. It's not like you haven't tried to take me out over and over and over and thought you had over and over and over. It just baffles me why your group never once starts to wonder why that is. How is it that I'm still here? And you guys know more about what you've done to me than what I know, because all of it has failed. And let's just talk about the stuff that's just public knowledge. With that protection order, you didn't get me in jail. You didn't get me lobotomized in a fucking mental institution. You didn't fucking end up microwaving me to death, that shit that you started to do in that fucking tin can that I lived in Algona. I should have died by that. By all intents and purposes, I should have at least died by that. And yet here I still am. The gas station explosion in Erlin, Iowa, that was meant to take out my house. Had that explosion come the other way, it would have. But it didn't come the way you wanted it to. It went the opposite direction. They tried and they failed over and over and over, and yet that all counts. But you never wonder why your shit fails. And it's not me. Obviously, it's not me. Hey, Gov, I'm not omniscient. I'm certainly not omnipotent. You have to wonder why, But I think you're going to have a hard time with me, Gabe, since you've been fucking trashing me for 7.5 years, and now I'm just simply telling people what I'm saying, which is why you're calling me crazy. I think people, since you've been telling everyone that I'm crazy, I have the right to tell them what I believe so that they can see if I'm crazy by themselves or not. And it's not the first time you and I have interacted with each other, by far. It's just that I have a life. I have shit that I have to do. And usually I don't do shit until heaven instructs me. You know? Issac Kappy was trying to expose your fucking pedophile ring. And it needs to be exposed. And it needs to be fucking stopped. And you've heard a lot of people. You think you can control the narrative, and so therefore you have control of all of it. But you don't really have control of shit. Not shit. And no one is going to listen to you when you have been trashing me online for 7.5 years. 7+ years. It's over 7. You've been trashing me, and I've never said anything. And so now here I am, actually addressing the shit that you're saying, and you think that I need to be kicked off, you know? And it's simply because you do not want people to hear what I have to say. And then those people have to ask themselves, why? Why? Why is that so important? Why are you going through so much effort? You know? If I'm crazy and I'm a liar, wouldn't it become self-evident to people that I was crazy or a liar? You know? Why all the hoopla? And there is hoopla, you know? And so they can say whatever the fuck they want. They can say whatever they want. I live in a small town. Your weird ass shit is just freaking people out. You know, I bet that the retired ex-chief of police of Harlan is not very happy that his face is on one of fucking Dowd's videos now. And you have no idea what your shit is causing in town. And you're doing it. I'm not posting those fucking videos. They're not my videos, you know? I don't even look at them. In fact, I haven't even bothered really to go look at the mentions because I just don't care. Now I click it for the briefest of seconds just to see when the last one was published, and I don't even give a shit how many. Fucking publish those dumbass videos to your heart content. Post 1 million a day. It won't change shit. It's not going to change shit. And what you're doing is freaking people in my town out. You have now convinced everybody that I'm telling the truth. Better than anything I could have done. Better than anything I could have done. Because people are watching your weird ass shit and it's freaking them out. You know? And then you wonder when I tell you that I'm able to go in and stick my fingers in your brain on the other side and scramble your brains with the very darkness you think protects you. You know? You guys are morons. You know? You're morons. And you've already lost. You've already lost. And I'm shocked. Shit. I shouldn't be surprised. Bait. And dude, the video that I saw that was on X, what you were saying and just the whole thing, I can't believe you actually posted that. Why would you put that up on the internet? Do you realize how creepy you look? You know? And you posted it. It's just like Thomas posting that weird ass video when he was driving around in the desert. You know? Why would you post things like that? And yet you'll throw the shit. Now granted, if you go to my blog, at the very end I mean everything that I said. I was totally out of line bringing in Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross's children. I was out of line. It should have never happened. I was angry. It doesn't excuse it. Children are off limits. And obviously I don't believe that. I think that children should be just thrown out there at any point, because I've dedicated my entire life trying to expose this shit to make children safe. That's what I have done. That's what I've done. That's the problem that they have with me that's different than everyone else. I have an established history. I've been at this for a long time and been doing the same shit for a long time. All I've done is documented it so people could go watch it and go see for themselves. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I've done. That's exactly. I've spent my entire life trying to save children by exposing this mess. And so I did not mean by any fraction of any semblance of truth did I mean that I wanted Neil's kids to be hurt, because I certainly do not. I don't want any kids to be hurt. But the fact that Neil Gross is acting as the gatekeeper and he's protecting this fucking group of child traffickers pisses me off in a way that you can't even begin to describe. I can't describe to you how angry it makes me sometimes. You know? It's just, it's all about having faith. It's all about having faith. And so, their shit is coming out. Their child trafficking bullshit is coming out. The whole situation with Issac is so fucking bizarre. And anybody who sees that picture on the bridge can see that that dude is not alive. He's not alive. You can see that, you know? And the fact that they are using that picture as proof just shows that they're insane, you know? And Gabe Hoffman, the dude who's after me, who's trying to take all my shit down now, did the same fucking thing to Issac Kappy right before they killed him. They did the exact same thing to Lori King. So Issac Kappy, Issac Kappy and Lori King, they did the same thing. Got her to take all of her shit down. A month later, she was dead. Less than a year later, after that, her husband was dead. This group will do what they can to protect their fucking child trafficking operation. And all I have wanted is a proper investigation into it. That's all I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever asked for. And because of what I have presented and what I know and the things that I talk about, and I just repeat myself over and over and over, I think the shit fucking merits a real investigation. And that's the only thing I'm asking for. And they will tell you, oh, David's this and David's that and David's this and David's that. Don't listen to David. There's a reason why I was nominated for Book of the Year when I published my book that I did about Franklin. You know, there's a reason why. There's a reason why I'm still here fighting when they've killed everybody else. And they've tried to take me out over and over and over and over. The only reason why I'm here is because of God. It is the only explanation that makes sense. It's the only explanation that makes sense. Because if you look at it as luck, what statistically are the numbers for as many times as they have tried to do what they've done to me that they failed, because they have failed every time. You know? And obviously I was trained in something, because the tenacity that I have shown in fighting this day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, shows my tenacity. It shows that I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to let go. I'm not. I haven't let go yet. I'm not going to let go. And why? It's because of my faith. They can say whatever they want. I wouldn't have even known Thomas Schoenberger existed, except that he came into my life, ingratiated himself into my life, and has made my life a living fucking nightmare. And he poo-poos that, like, oh, well, what you think is, it's been a nightmare that I've had to go through. And I was willing to go through it because that's what God needs, And that's what I believe. I'm going through it because God needs it. I believe everything is providence right now. I do. So no matter what happens, it's providence. And my responsibility where I'm at is to just keep doing what I've always been doing. I just need to keep on going and doing what I'm doing, And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to follow this all the way through. I will say that I cannot believe how inept this group is, because I think they would have succeeded in taking me out a long while ago. They're definitely scraping the fucking barrel on that one. And Gabe Hoffman, you looks like a straight out motherfucking thug, You look mean as fuck, and I'm not. Okay. It's funny my phone doesn't have any problems any other time. No other time. But when I'm on here talking about shit they don't want me to talk about, then I have issues with my phone overheating. So I have to always on my phone, cool down, And so, sorry about that. Thank you for hanging out. And wait, and when that happens, I just got to shut my phone off, let it cool down for about a few minutes. Thank you for staying. Thank you. This group finds themselves in a bit of a conundrum because the whole goal of this whole situation all right, hope that's the buffering, hopefully that fixes it. They have tried to take me out over and over and over, but obviously Aquino has told them that it's probably not a good idea to do it. They have to be covert about it. They can't just do it openly. They're not just going to be able to show up and kill me. And the reason why is because all of those rituals that just can't kill me, that will not work well for them. I don't know if they're smart enough to realize that, but it won't work well for them at all. And it won't make any difference who does it. That whole the least of you is in effect. So it won't make any difference who does what. It makes no difference. And so if they don't take me out, I'm never going to stop. Well, I'll never stop anyway. I am what they have never experienced before. A sacrifice they don't want to sacrifice. That's basically what I am. But in this whole thing, for heaven to do what I wanted heaven to do, I've said this over and over and over, my body and soul, all of it. And I have followed through with everything I have promised to do. And heaven doesn't break deals. The devil might, but heaven doesn't break deals. And so your group is screwed. It's already screwed. You just don't realize how bad you're screwed already. And so Roseanne's podcast with Tom Altman. Some of the stuff Roseanne says and does ends up kind of pissing me off, but then in a way I kind of understand it. I would love to actually just be in a room with Roseanne and have a conversation with her face to face. God always keeps his promises. And I offered everything. And what I was supposed to do is stand up and make myself such a nuisance that their group stood up and struck me down. That's the whole goal to all of this. And so you see their conundrum. They want to kill me, but they know that if they do, they're fucked. But if they don't, they're still fucked, because I'm just going to expose their shit. This game is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I knew what I was getting involved with before I ever got involved with it. I knew what I was headed for. God didn't pull any punches. He explained the whole fucking caboodle out over and over and over. And I knew what I was in for and didn't care. Didn't care. Doug Mesner and all of them, Emily Thorne, Skills, whatever the fuck Kara calls herself, the free-range humans idiot. They can say, oh, David's never helped a child at all. And that probably is true. That is true. But let me tell you, I'm definitely getting vengeance for the ones who died. Don't have a fucking doubt in your mind that I will have my vengeance. I will. Because that's what God promised me. As ugly and as awful as that sounds, that is what I was promised by heaven. I want your group to be held accountable, and I want there to be retribution. That's all I've ever wanted. So, Gabe, bring it on. You know, but for all of you, if he ends up taking my shit down, it means they're coming to kill me. Because that's how it works. That's how they do it. It's not like they do it different every time around. They do it the same. All of their shit is always the fucking same. That is what is infuriating. Because if people would just fucking look at it, actually legitimate people who actually had the authority to fucking do something, if they would just fucking look at it, they'd realize there's a huge problem. And it needs to be investigated and it needs to be stopped. That's how it's working. And the fact that I have to argue this is just mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. And it is frustrating. And I get irritated and angry. And I don't know what to say. And then I say inappropriate things. I never meant, literally, for anything to happen to Neil's kids. I don't want anything to happen to anybody's kids. That's the whole point of this. You know? That is the whole point of this. But people in town are watching. Not just my shit, but their shit too. And their shit is just crazy shit. You know? Your side doesn't look innocent. Let me just say that. You have seriously, you know... Have you ever heard of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People? Did you ever read that? Ever? Because it doesn't seem as if you have. But I don't know what effect you thought. But those flyers were so over the top. And now people are looking at those flyers in town thinking, well, if they can do that to David, they can do it to just about anybody. That they'll just be able to do it to anybody that they want. And it's creeped people out. It's weirded people out, you know? And it also helps that, fuck, I don't run from it. Why would I run? Why would I run? You know? I don't give a fuck. I'm not a pedophile. For me, it's a win-win situation. If idiots out there think that I'm a danger to their kids, and when I'm walking through an aisle in the grocery store, they grab their kids and leave, fuck. That's a win-win for me. You know what I'm saying? Shit. If I would have thought about that, I would have done that probably years ago. You know? Because I'm old. And I don't like to be around kids. I'm old. I don't like to be around kids. I don't like to be around other people's kids. I think that there are a lot of people out there that have kids that suck as parents. That's just me. But I don't have kids. So, you know, and most of the time, a lot of times I feel sorry for the kids and I want to hurt the parents, you know? And so it's just sad. It's just sad. And the only way that this is all going to be taken care of is God. And I knew that from the beginning. The only way this was going to be taken care of is through God. And people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. But focusing on the Gospels of Jesus Christ and what he said about the Word, in my opinion, in my life, what I went through, I think it's saved my soul. You know? It certainly gave me a good direction. You know? And so people can say whatever the fuck they want. You know? Oh, I don't do loud screaming from kids. You know? Fuck, I was talking to a friend in town, and she had her daughter who was in the cart, and we were having a conversation, and she told me, David, she got that look on her face, and I said, just tell me what's on your mind. And she said, you crossed a line talking about Neil's kids. And she was absolutely right. I crossed a line. And so I thought, I paused for a minute and then told her, you know, I was really angry at the time and I understand it, but I crossed a line. I was wrong. And I should have never, ever involved any children in any of this. And so, and I told her that. And she looked at me and she was just like, you know, that's why I really like you, because you don't argue. When you're wrong, you just admit that you're wrong and, you know, explain why you're wrong. She was just like, wow. But she was right. She was right. I was totally, totally wrong, you know, and didn't mean it anyway. I don't want anything to happen to anybody's kids that's bad. But I want God to beat Neil Gross with the stick. That's what I want. I want them all. I want heaven to beat the absolute ever-living shit out of them with whatever stick heaven chooses to beat them all with. That's how I feel. That's what I want, to be quite honest. You know? Because them getting beat by a stick by heaven is going to hurt so much worse than what anybody could do. You know? That's what I want. You know? That's what I've always wanted out of this whole situation. Dude, they come in here and make their weird ass threats. Everything is providence. Whatever's gonna fucking happen is gonna happen. That's how it's gonna work. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. But I know how this all fucking turns out. Don't fill your heart with love. Don't fucking do it. Don't do it. Tell yourself why you don't have to. Tell yourself why you're superior and you don't have to do shit. And you don't have to care about life. And you don't have to care about your fellow man. You don't have to care about anything. Don't. But don't fucking bitch when you end up where you're going to end up. You know? And you'll figure it out. It'll become self-evident. There won't be a fucking doubt in your mind where you are. And trust me, you're going to be there for a long time. So I would just get comfortable. As comfortable as you can. You know? But this bullshit ends. This bullshit ends. And you're not fighting me. You're fighting heaven. That's what's happening, is you're fighting heaven. And you're fighting the dark, which is working on behalf of heaven. It's part of the reaping. You know? Where do you think the goats go? Right into the fucking dark. You know? And you can threaten me all you want. You can send me as many fucking nasty emails as you want. You know? Fuck, you've done it for years. Thomas, you're not a victim. Gabe Hoffman, you're not a victim. Stop acting like you're a fucking victim. You know? I'm not obsessed with the two of you. If you weren't involved with the child trafficking ring that I'm trying to expose and hadn't just announced yourselves into my life, I wouldn't know who the fuck you were and wouldn't have cared. That's the flat out fucking thing. I'm not obsessed with you any more than I was obsessed with Doug Mesner and all the years that I fought with him. I'm not obsessed with him. It's the child trafficking organization that you're all fucking involved with. That's my focus. That's what I'm going to bring down. And heaven is going to do it for me. And it's coming down. Have no fucking doubt it's coming down. So you can do whatever the fuck you want. Send out whatever fucking threats you want. Send it out to everybody. Flood my fucking neighborhood, my whole town, the whole state, the whole fucking country with every fucking flyer you can make. It ain't gonna change shit. And that shit is the very dark that you think empowers you and makes you strong. And you are just so all that very fucking dark, you owe. And let me tell you, the cost is vast for every fucking one of you. And there is no way to thwart it. There is nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. No one is coming to save you, and you can't save yourselves. And what's about over to take you is worse than what you were to those children. Worse. Much worse. Much worse. You know? Have fun, motherfuckers. You know? That's all I have to say. When it comes down to it, you think you're obsessed with me? Let me tell you, you're going to spend an eternity thinking nothing about me. Every day, every moment, you're going to be thinking about me. I'll make sure of it. I already have. With heaven's help, it's already done. And it's waiting for you. And you can dance around like fucking baboons all you want. The moment after you take your last breath, you are claimed. You'll figure it the fuck out. And how you respond, how you act on this side, who gives a fuck? You know? You're gonna do what you are gonna do. Fuck. And no one's gonna do shit to you. Let's be honest. That picture of Issac Kappy, you can tell he's dead. Right? You can tell he's dead. Everyone who has looked at that picture thinks that dude is dead. He looks dead. He's dead. It's a fucking picture of a dead guy that you posed on there. He's dead. He looks dead. His color is wrong. The color with his hands to his face is wrong. The expression or lack thereof, there's no life to the dude. He's dead. And it was only a matter of time before the way he was positioned, he was going to fall backwards. It was only a matter of time. It's fucking gravity. And the way he was positioned, it was only a matter of fucking time. you know? And do I think that Gabe Hoffman is involved? You're goddamn right, I'm sure of it. He was the one who got all of Issac Kappy's shit taken down before Issac ended up dead. He's the one. He's trying to do it to me now. Trying to make himself out to be a victim, even though he has shit out there that's been out there for 7+ years where he's trashing me. Oh, he'll tell everyone that I'm crazy, but he doesn't want you to know what I'm saying, which is what he deemed as crazy. He doesn't want anybody to hear any of that, you know? He just wants you to think I'm crazy and just leave it at that. But go look at his fucking bathroom video. Do I look that bad? That's the whole thing. I'm never going to do another bathtub thing again. It's just when I'm soaking in the hot bath and I'm praying and stuff, I generally get these epiphanies. That's why I end up doing a lot of bathroom videos, because I just get epiphanies. Big shit. But then I don't laugh at people's fucking child rape, you know? That wouldn't even occur to me. I should pray. Heaven, I come to you. Everything is providence right now. I'm just working on what I'm working on and what I can do and having fun creating. And I can just do what I can do, and that's all I can do. And I'm okay with that, because you're in control. Totally and completely in control. And I'm grateful for that. We're all grateful. We live in really bizarre days. It's hard to discern what's the truth is and what's fallacy. If total disclosure is bad, then give them the dark. You know, if they're just a plant that this side uses in order to try and fuck people up, send them the dark. If not, and they are who they say they are, and they're trying to expose human trafficking and child trafficking, then let them be blessed. But one way or the other, and I don't know, so I couldn't say, you know? All I know is that I'm not connected to anybody. There's nobody influencing me. I live the word. I follow you. I'm pretty well established of where I'm at and what I've been doing. And I'm grateful for that. I'm lucky where so many people aren't, because I know my path and I'm walking it. And I feel blessed, and I'm grateful. I without a doubt know you exist. I've just had way too many examples. Too much stuff happen. It's the only plausible explanation, because no other explanation works. And I'm grateful for that. It's hard to argue with facts. And so we're all grateful that you sent your son, our brother Jesus Christ, down to teach us the word and how to live it and how to believe in it and just how to let it just take over. And we're grateful for that. And we say these things gratefully, blessedly, in your son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Grateful. Totally grateful. No matter what happens, there'll never be a time that I'm not grateful. You know? And yeah, it doesn't mean there hasn't been a lot of suffering, but throughout that, I always seem to find God. You know? It's funny how that works. But I also find God in the good times too. You know? This whole child trafficking bullshit needs to be investigated by someone who has authority to actually be able to do something. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be looked at. These people need to be investigated, because if they find out even a fraction of the shit that I know that this group is involved with, and they're not good at hiding their shit. They're just so blatant. It's amazing to me. So if anybody with authority would actually fucking look at it, it won't be that hard to figure it out. I really do not think that it will be that hard to figure it out. And all I want it is to be investigated. That's all I want. That's all I've ever wanted, is to have it investigated. You know? And stopped. You know? Because this core group needs to be incarcerated. Children are not safe. Thomas Schoenberger, Gabe Hoffman, Lucian Greaves, Doug Mesner, Doug Masiko, founder of the Satanic Temple. He has lots of names. Kara from the Free Range Humans, who goes by Skills, who also goes by Emily Thorne. Corey Daniel, his wife, who was the last person supposedly to talk to Isaac before he ended up dead. You know? Daniel Dowd, Geo Farnsworth, Ron Patton, Ron Patton's whole crew in Olympia, Washington. You know? If you're going to also look at big names, Sid Seymour, San Francisco. Look at old Sid. You know? I don't know if he's still alive. He may not be alive anymore because he was pretty old. But that kind of shit. You know? But the core group that I'm talking about now, they're all alive. And they're all involved. And they're all the worker bees right now. Sewer Town. You know? They need to be investigated. Tara Joyce needs to be investigated. You know? It all needs to be looked at. These people need to be looked at. And their argument is, don't listen to David Shurter because of such and such, or this and that, or this thing, or that thing. But fuck, don't listen to David Shurter. Don't listen to anything he has to say. But the only thing I've ever been saying is I think this all should be investigated. I think children are in danger here, and it all needs to be investigated. Craig Sawyer, Russ Dizdar was also involved with it, but Craig Sawyer was instrumental, especially with fucking Issac Kappy. You know? All of this needs to be investigated. There's a problem here. It needs to be investigated. And it doesn't make any difference if they come out and actually finally have any proof of what they say. Like, I'm the fucking Antichrist and I'm going to eat people in one gulp. You know? They'll come out and say that, but it won't make any fucking difference. It won't change the fact that this child trafficking operation needs to be investigated. It needs to be investigated. These people need to be incarcerated. Doesn't change the facts at all of the matter. None of it changes. If I was a fucking alien from Mars and here to overtake the planet, wouldn't make any fucking difference. Wouldn't change anything. This group needs to be investigated. This child trafficking bullshit needs to be investigated. All of these people that are completely enmeshed and wrapped up in this whole fucking thing and have been in this drama for years, they all need to be investigated. That's what needs to happen. They're going to keep hurting children if it's not. That's the choice. So if you want to protect these fucking people, go ahead. Protect them. But it's not going to lead you where you think you want. It's certainly not going to lead you where you want to go. In the end, you will not be happy where it leads you. This group needs to be investigated and it needs to be stopped. Flat the fuck out. That's just flat the fuck out. That's why Gabe Hoffman doesn't want anyone to hear what I have to say. Because that is what I've been saying year after year. Year after year after year. And keep explaining why. So And people wonder why I get frustrated with this mess. You know? Because I just don't get it. I don't get how it's so fucking hard. Why it should have been so hard. I've given my fucking entire life for this. Everything. Everything. It's not that I was left without a life, obviously. But the life that I planned, the life that I had, disintegrated because I wouldn't let this go. And what am I fighting for? I'm fighting for your fucking kids. Because what they're doing to them is wrong. And you have no fucking idea how bad it can be for those children that they get. You have no fucking idea how bad it is. You know? And so therefore, it needs to be stopped. And the only way to stop that is to investigate it. Turning away, running from it, all of that shit doesn't help. Doesn't help. You just fucking help the dark. You serve, you whether or not you're honest about it or not. When you are running and just letting it happen and don't give a fuck, you're empowering them. You know? And binding yourselves to them. That's how it's going to work. That's the sad part about it is. And you don't have to be honest about it yourself. Tell yourself whatever fucking stupid shit you want to tell yourself. You know? But it's going to make a difference in the end. You know? Here I am fighting for kids. And I'll till the end and beyond. You know? Till the end and beyond. It won't stop. This group needs to be investigated. The people that I know need to be incarcerated. And this whole thing needs to be stopped. And they're fucking obvious about everything they do. You know? And what they're not obvious about, they're dumbasses. The shit that they do, they're just entitled fucking dumbasses. They just do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do and don't even bother to think what would happen if someone comes along and actually points the shit out. You know? Sherilyn may be a bit quick to delete comments and send people away. If there is spam, she's more than bait. Sherilyn knows what the fuck is going on. And the shit that she has to go through, you know. I like it. It's made this place a safe place. And it's not, oh, I'm woke and we all need a safe place. But otherwise they fucking take over. That was the problem I was having when I was doing it on my own. They would end up taking over the chat. You know? And that doesn't happen anymore. And I'm really kind of glad about that. So, you know, it means that when you come in here and you start to actually chat, you better have some sense of yourself and have some fucking brain. Because Sherilyn doesn't play. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. I will tell everyone, Sherilyn and I did get together, and we had the most kick-ass food at a Mexican restaurant. Sherilyn had never eaten there before, and it's one of the best in town. And so we got together. So I will say that your donations helped me take Sherilyn out, and we had an amazing lunch. It was just fun to, you know. But she had to have, I had to do something nice for her. Yeah, Sherilyn says thanks. Because generally I'm broke as snot. It sucks. Poverty sucks. And yet, I'm not running from bombs yet, you know, so. We had an amazing lunch. I knew how good the food was. And it's funny because we were going to go eat Ethiopia, but it was 1,000,000 degrees outside. And Sherilyn was just like, I don't want to go eat Ethiopian because I have a feeling it's going to just sit on me and then it's going to be a bad experience. And she wanted to have a good experience. So I said, okay, well, let's go to this Middle Eastern place that I know about. You can't get anything lighter. What I order is chicken and vegetables skewered over a grill, served over rice. You can't get anything lighter than that. But they were closed. There's some sort of family get-together holiday thing. They're closed for a month. And so we ended up going to this Mexican restaurant because I forgot that Cheryl, the lady that served us, was just amazing. And it was just fun. It was just fun. I have a picture of Sherilyn, but I'm never going to share it. But it's one of my most favorite pictures of Sherilyn because she has both hands on her Coke and she's drinking with that straw, and it's like she's drinking crack cocaine. Because, not to give too much about Sherilyn, but she's trying to quit pop. I hope that's not, that's a good thing we should all aspire to have less pop. I drink water, flavored waters. I've gotten myself off of pop a lot. She's an addict. She says she's a Coke addict. And it was funny because I have a picture of her drinking her Coke. And she looks like an addict. She's so happy with that Coke. But it was a fun time. It was. And so thank you guys. Because you guys made it possible. We're both broke. And we go through a lot of serious shit with all of this. We go through a lot of serious shit. And so it just really is nice that people helped out and cared enough to actually help us get a break. Because this has been tiring, to say the least. I've never been a big sweet person. My problem is that I hate getting 2 liters of pop because I never drink that 2 liter before it goes bad. And so I'm wasting pop, and pop is expensive. Katie, we all need a break. And Sherilyn, it's not like we all don't have shit going on in our life other than this too. This is certainly not all of what Sherilyn has going on in her life. This is certainly not all of what I have going on in my life. Just like it's not all of what any of you guys are, There's other shit that goes on too. And it's difficult. It's difficult. I probably should give out the stuff. My book is $30 if you buy it from me. PayPal and Venmo is just D Shurter, so it's just my first initial, my last name. We do take donations. I will tell you that I am looking hard to raise $75, because if I get a laptop that I start writing in, I can never leave that laptop in this house. I have to take this laptop with me everywhere I go. So I have to have a bag that I am comfortable with, that I carry with me every time I leave the house. And I found one. It's dark brown. It's for a 17-inch computer, because when I get a computer, it's going to be 17 inches. I need a big laptop because I need to be able to see it, especially if I'm writing. It's a messenger bag that I'm looking at. So the damn thing is going to be, I figure with tax, probably $90. And so I will say that if people can donate for that, it'll go for a good cause, because as soon as I have that, I'm going to start working on the 2 books. I'm just going to break down. The day that I get that bag, I'm going to, I have a person who's going to give me a laptop, but I wouldn't take it yet because I don't want it in the house because they get into my house. I don't want them to have access to my shit. Do you know how frustrating it is to actually have to hide things in your own house? Because people break into your house and they break my shit, and then they brag about it and they steal shit and all of that. It's just, if I'm writing a book, I can't have it here because that's all I need is to get into it and then have them leave the fucking thing here, and then they just either take it or erase it or fuck with it. There's no way I can do it. There's no way I can do it. So I can't even really start writing until I have this damn bag. But I need a bag that I know I'm going to be comfortable with. So just not every bag is going to work. And so, like I said, on Amazon, I found this messenger bag for 17, dark brown. It's like $74. And, that would be with, that's not with tax. So I'm just saying, if people want to donate, I'm going to try and whip out 2 books. And actually just really sit down and put myself in the whole situation. I think you guys will like that. I think you guys like my writing. A lot of you have been after me to write another book for the longest time. And so I can't do it without a bag because I can't leave that computer thing here. So basically what I need is a man bag. That's why I want the messenger thing. I can put it on here, it hangs here, and I'm not embarrassed to be seen with it because it's going to be a man bag. It's going to be a fucking huge man bag I'm going to have to carry with me everywhere. I'm not looking forward to it, and yet I am, because it allows me to write. And fuck that. I'm sick of being under their fucking thumb. I'm sick of them breaking into my house whenever they fucking want and bragging that the fucking police are helping them. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them stealing shit from my house and then bragging to me about it on email. I don't even know that the fucking thing is gone. Then I go to look and nothing from the cops, nothing. Now they're passing out fucking flyers, but at least nobody believes that I'm lying anymore. There's obviously a group out to get me. It's self-evident because they hung out all those flyers. And it wasn't just a one-time deal. They do it over and over and over. Which is getting everybody in town to talk about the fucking meth operation that everyone knows about here. Because it's been a fucking open secret. Everyone in town knows about this meth operation, but no one will do anything. Now that all these flyers and they're all talking about me, now they're talking about that meth operation. Heaven works in mysterious ways, and it's amazing and wonderful. My last bag was stolen with a broken laptop. So I had a nice leather bag, had no idea how expensive that bag was. It was a gift from someone years ago. And they stole that computer, and I was just in that room and had to rearrange stuff. So it was in an area I didn't think I had to hide it. And it was in a utility room, and they stole it and then bragged about it. So when I went to go look for it, sure as fuck it was gone. That's why I can't leave. There's no way I'm going to go get a computer and start doing anything on a computer that they can get access to, because I'm not having them destroyed. I'm not doing all that work. It takes work to write a fucking book. I know that comes as a shock, but it's a lot of work to write a book, and I can't be worried that they're going to fuck with everything. And so I need this messenger bag. I need a bag that I'm comfortable carrying every day, and that's just shit. The one I want that's on Amazon that's $75. If I go to fucking Von Mar, they don't even have what I want, and theirs are like $6,000 to $1,000. So people can say, oh, he's extravagant with his computer bag, but No, I'm really not, you know? And it's on Amazon, and it says it's leather. So if it's leather, that's all I need. A messenger bag. They will hang the way I need it to hang on me, you know? So with all that said, my blog is davidshurter.com. There's a lot of good stuff on there. There's a lot of good stuff on there right now. And the shit part about it is you just have to scroll. I need to work on getting a more complete version of the index for that blog, but I haven't done it yet. And I don't know when I'm going to do it. But, so with that said, I'm going to get off here because my phone is going to start fucking up anyway. And I have something that I want to work on anyway. And so, art-wise, I'm making someone a bag. They're paying me for it. And so I'm trying to get it done in a timely manner. And, again, with all of this child trafficking bullshit, it just needs to be investigated by someone in authority. I'm not fucking Nancy Drew. I'm not doing investigative work. But I've been at this and have experienced enough to know there's a lot of fucking information out there. You don't need me. You just needed to know where to look and who to look at. Now that you know that, it should be fucking simple. You know? It's not like they've hidden anything. That's their problem. You know? Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth coming into my area and bragging about murdering Owen. I would have never thought that they had anything to do with Owen, but they bragged about it. And how did they brag about it? They were posting live YouTube videos of my town that day. Geo was posting on YouTube and showing that the location. Maybe he wasn't in Harlan. Maybe he lied. Maybe he just wanted me to think he was in Harlan. But the question is, why? Why was it so important for him to make me believe that he was in Harlan? That's the fucking question. You know? And someone was in town posting at that Pootie Twang, and that Pootie Twang account, the original, was Daniel Dowds. Openly Daniel Dowds. You know? But that's the kind of shit that I'm saying. You know? When you go murder someone, maybe you shouldn't brag about it. You know? I've never heard of anything so stupid. I don't think it takes a rocket science, and it doesn't even take a criminal. I've watched enough CSI to know that when you go murder someone, you're not supposed to go make fucking videos. And then tell a very person that you know is gonna fucking come after you in every way they can. You told me. You came to me and convinced me. And now you want to act like little bitches because I'm doing what anybody who knows me would know exactly what I would do. And I'm doing exactly that. You know? Exactly that. That's what I'm doing. So you can say whatever the fuck you want. But so with that said, I don't know. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 o'clock. So I'll be back on here on Tuesday. Unless something's amazing or something that I feel is important. You know. Otherwise, it'll be Tuesday at 11. And then Thursday at 11. Tuesday and Thursday, they're always an hour. We keep them at an hour. The weekend's a little bit longer. I think today's been longer. My phone has started and stopped again, so it's telling me that I've been on for 36 minutes, but I know I've been on longer than 36 minutes. And so, you know, I'm hoping that the beginning of this didn't get lost. Who the fuck knows? They're trying to shut me down any way they can. You know? They're trying to shut me down any way they can. Gabe was the very person who got all of Issac Kappy's shit down right before Issac ended up dead. And he's instrumentally connected to all of this. Oh, and for the fucking record, I never trusted that vegan Mikey dude. I thought he was a plant. That's what I told Isaac. Isaac and I got into arguments over vegan Mikey because I didn't believe vegan Mikey was who vegan Mikey was telling everybody he was. He was walking fucking chaos. Everywhere he went, he brought chaos, and people got tired of the chaos and then dismissed it. And I thought it was a plant. I thought it was being done intentionally. I didn't trust vegan Mikey. And I think the name is fucking stupid. I think half of their fucking names are stupid. You know? Fucking, if this was written as a soap opera, no one would fucking watch it because it's so goddamn dumb. And the fact that this is real life, anybody who has any even a modicum of a sense, common sense, is going to find this situation exhausting because it's just beyond fucking stupid. That's the problem. It's beyond fucking stupid. So, with that said, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.